you want to be crazy and rich or not crazy and poor? I don't know. At some point, you got to make a decision where you say, you know what? I don't care what it takes. If I have to hashtag hotels or restaurants in a specific city to network and meet people and build relationships and eventually get them into my business, then that's what you need to do. What's going on, everyone? Hey, welcome to another episode of the Alex Morton Show. For those of you new to the channel, I'm Alex Morton. I've been an entrepreneur now pretty much my entire life, but in 2011, I got started in the direct selling industry, and it has brought me to over 77 countries around the world. I've been able to earn over $30 million at age 30 and help a lot of people do a lot of amazing things all over the planet. And this channel is for you. It's not for me, it's for you. I want to teach you what I've learned along the way on my journey so you cannot make the same pitfalls and mistakes as me. Like I say in a lot of episodes, listen, you can learn from your own mistakes or you can learn from mentors. So I am privileged to be your mentor, at least for today's episode. And if you're watching this, you're probably an entrepreneur. Maybe you're in solar, real estate, insurance, door-to-door sales, network marketing, but you're doing something where you're paid on producing a result, getting the job done, being effective, being productive, and executing, okay? In life, it's all about execution. There's lots of people out there in the sales profession that work, and they never get paid and get paid and get paid. My goal is to teach you today how to scale, how to grow, how to expand your business, your organization, and honestly dominate your industry. A lot of people don't like the word dominate, and people say there's market share for everybody and there's enough for everybody, which I do believe that. However, if you're attracted to me and my personality, you probably want to win at a very high level. You want to probably punish some competition if there is competition, and you want to win and become the expert and the authority figure in your space, right? So you have started your business, you're growing your business, hopefully you're making a little bit of money, or maybe you're making a lot of bit of money, right? And you're like, yo, how do I scale? How do I grow? How do I get to the point of dominating my town, my city, my state, my country? Maybe you're in an international business and you want to expand to other countries. Here's the deal, right? In life and in business, you're either expanding or you are contracting, right? So today's episode is talking about how to scale any business, how to expand, how to go out there and win. So first off, what's the definition of, scaling, growing, right? Scaling is very, very simple math here. Ready? Customers in versus customers out. Very simple, right? How many new clients, customers am I bringing into my t-shirt business, network marketing company, protein shake business, even a restaurant? Like, how many new customers am I bringing into my business versus how many people are going out of the door, canceling their subscription, canceling their memberships, right? From owning a gym to being in a supplement business to being an insurance agent. Really, it's all the same stuff, the same mathematics, the same formulas on how to win in business and also in life. So it's customers in versus customers out, right? Bringing in more customers, bringing more customers and clients into your business than leaving your business, okay? So let's give an example of like a case study, right? $500 a month. You're selling coaching, right? You're a coach, you're an online, author, speaker, whatever, and you're selling a $500, program on your coaching services, right? So your whole reason for existing in the business sense is how many new customers am I bringing into my business versus leaving, right? That's called a retention rate. These are things you guys got to know, by the way, okay? Retention rate, right? In my network marketing business in 2011, I had a retention rate. Like every month, I was like, okay, this amount of people came into my business. This amount of people left my business. So this is my retention rate, right? How long are we going to keep a customer? How long are you going to keep a customer on your 97 or 197 or 297 or 497 monthly subscription? Guys, you're an entrepreneur. You're a business owner. You're a business operator, right? Even if you're in insurance underneath the umbrella of a $1 billion insurance company, or you're in network marketing underneath the umbrella of a $1 billion financial educational company or a supplement company like Herbalife, you are still a business owner and a business operator, and there are certain metrics you need to look at and know. You need to know your numbers, because whatever you track and trace, you can grow. Whatever you don't track and you don't trace, how the hell are you ever going to grow, expand, and eventually, guess what? Dominate in the business world. So when we're talking about scaling, right? Customers in versus customers out. So Alex, okay, I get it, right? My retention rate, customers in, customers out, right? Like what do I do? How do I improve my retention rate? I'm going to give you guys a couple key takeaways here that you can implement it into your business right now, right? One of my things is here. You want to under promise and over deliver to your customers and clients, right? What does that mean? That means you don't want to say, okay, drink this shake, you're going to lose 10 pounds your first month. No, you want to under promise and over deliver. Okay. You need to make your products and services the best of the best, right? Maybe if it's a supplement company, you want to use the best ingredients. Don't cut it with a bunch of garbage, right? You want to have the best product on the market. If you just have the best product on the market and you learn how to get attention, right? People are going to use your product, love your product. Maybe you're selling, a foreign exchange, Forex, crypto, educational service, right? If you have the best of the best product on the market, your customers are going to use the product, love the product, and eventually refer the product to other people. In my first company, our retention rate was pretty solid because the product was really good. We had a healthy energy drink. And back then, everybody was all hyped up and jacked up about Red Bull, Rockstar, Monster, 5 Hour Energy, Gatorade, Powerade, Starbucks. So when we came to market with a healthy energy drink, naturally word spread because people said, dang, I drank this stuff. I didn't get jittery. I didn't crash after the gym workout. I drink it in the morning and I got off of my Adderall, or I got off of my other medications. And then they spread it to their friends. Yo, you gotta try this drink. It's really, really good. If you have a great product in the financial educational, spectrum, right? And maybe it's to help people, get a better, credit score. Right? If it's actually working, the product's actually working, and you're improving people's credit scores, guess what? They're going to go tell their cousins and their friends and their family about your product and or service. But if you're selling shit and you have a garbage product and service, your retention rate's not going to be good because your customer is going to try the product and the service and ain't going to work, whether it's coaching, right? Whether it's a supplement, whether it's a coffee, doesn't really matter. If it's not a good product and or service, people are going to cancel their subscription. So to improve your retention rate, number one, have a phenomenal product and or service, okay? And then under promise and over deliver on the results. Now, if you're in a business where you bring in a customer and a client, and the goal is to keep expanding your customer base to earn residual income in network marketing, or your goal in life insurance, right, is to build as many agents as possible and help them go out there and sell insurance so you can continue to make overrides on your agents and on your people. Well, you as a leader now, and this goes into the retention rate, you got to help people. I call it get PP, paid and promoted. Okay. If you sponsor 10 new guys that go sell solar with you, shit, you better get them knocking doors and closing deals and making money, making commissions on selling solar. Or guess what? They're going to give a little bit of effort. Most people quit everything anyway. Most people quit the gym. They quit their marriage. They quit sobriety. They just quit, right? So if you don't get people paid and promoted and feeling confident fairly quickly, your retention rate is going to get attacked, and it's going to go in a negative slope because these people are not getting paid, they're not getting promoted, and they're losing confidence, right? As the days and the weeks and the months go on. So how do you get people paid and promoted? By helping people win, giving them the formula to success, right? Going back on a couple previous episodes where I talked about how to properly launch your business, make sure you're onboarding new customers and clients and leaders, and you are teaching them how to effectively launch their business so they can go out there and make a sale, close a deal, sell a car in their first week, their first month. They're making money, a check's on the way, a direct deposit's on the way. They're feeling good, they're feeling great, they're fired up, and they're telling their war market. And they're bringing in referrals into your business, right? If you're a coach, there's a lot of coaches out there, in the digital landscape of the internet, right? If you're a coach and you bring in some clients, man, you got to help them get some freaking results. Maybe it's to add more lean muscle mass, lose body fat, make an extra $2,000 a month, whatever it is, you got to get them results. Results are the name of the game. My mentor, Bob Proctor, told me, Alex, results are everything. See, he said, by their fruits, you shall know them. And when he said that to me, I didn't understand what he was even talking about, but he said, Alex, fruits, meaning their cars, their homes, their health, their wealth, their happiness, the amount of vacations they take per year. By their fruits, you shall know them, right? Because he said, only listen to people that have what you want. And you understand if you know that they have what you want by looking at the fruits that they have been able to grow and produce, right, over the course of their career in their respective industries, right? So retention rate, keeping clients longer, under promising and over delivering, helping people win, helping people get paid, helping people get promoted, right? This is how you scale, right? This is how you grow. You're growing your business. You're building your empire, right? The next big idea is attracting and developing leaders in your business, industry, profession, organization. That's how you scale, getting more people to do what it is you do. Okay. I tell people all the time, you can get to 10 grand a month on your own by just bringing in a lot of solar sales reps and, door-to-door pest control guys and alarm system guys. And, you're doing your thing. However, right, and you're knocking doors and you're closing deals and you're making commissions. However, if you want to get to that next level and really expand and build a nationwide business or an international presence business, right, you need to learn how to attract and develop leaders, okay? I don't know any better way than doing that in 2024 than building an online personal brand. You tell me, you're going to go run ads in the paper, right? You could do that. That's not going to work probably in 2024. And that's stupid because you can post a video on Instagram and right away it is everywhere at the same time right now. I mean, how incredible is that, where you can post a video on YouTube or drop a podcast on Spotify or Apple, and all of a sudden anyone in the world with Wi-Fi can get to know you, and you're building relationships with people, okay? And you're not even talking to them directly. So personal brand, right? This goes into scaling your business, right? Scaling your organization, attracting new leaders, developing new leaders. Guys, people need to know you. People need to know you, right? People don't know you. They can't flow to you. Does that make sense? You need to build an online brand, personal brand, okay? So how do we do that? Well, there's really 4 levels of this, okay? Real estate, insurance, network marketing, door-to-door sales, selling cars, wherever you're at in the world, Kansas City, Missouri, or, London, England. It really doesn't matter, okay? Here's the 4 levels, okay? You can be a generalist in your business, okay? Then you can graduate and become a specialist in your business. Then you can graduate and become a professional in your business, and then you can really graduate and become a celebrity/authority figure in your business. It took me a hell of a long time, but in network marketing, not in real life, but in network marketing, guys, I have hit the celebrity and authority level in my profession based on my results and personal brand. Guess what? You can too, right? When I first started posting on Facebook in 2011, okay, 2 people were liking it, my mom and my little sister. 2012, I probably had my mom liking it and my little sister liking it, and then one of my cousins commenting on the video. It takes time to build a brand. It takes time to build, trust and integrity with people, with strangers. You're watching this video. I don't know how you came across this show, but someone told you, hey, watch this Alex Morton show. You know, he's made a lot of money and he's helping people do the same damn thing. Watch it. Okay, based on results, based on brand, based on something, right? It's how you build trust with people. So focus on that personal brand. Because remember, listen, okay, you can go out there and sell life insurance. You can go out there and sell solar. You can go out there and sell your financial educational packages in your company, and you can make some money, but you can only work so many hours in a day. You got to eat, you got to sleep, you got to go to the bathroom, you got to have some level of social life, you know, probably, right? But even if you work, which you can't, but even if you work 24 hours in a day, 24 hours in a day, but I had a team of 5 people in my business working 5 hours a day part-time. I am producing 25 hours a day of work. You're producing 24 hours a day of work, right? If you want to get rich, go alone. You want to get wealthy, build a team. Very, very simple stuff. So growing any business, scaling any business, guys, we talked about retention rate. We talked about, hey, scale. What does that mean? Customers in versus customers out. How do you keep a customer and a client long-term, right? The length term, the long term, how many days are they in your business, right? Are they staying for a day, a week, a month, a year, a couple of years, right? I've had people in my business that have been with me for over a decade. And there's some people in my business that have been with me, they get in and then they cancel, and 48 hours later, right? It's all about how you're treating that brand new customer. Are you onboarding them the right way? Okay. Under promising and over delivering, helping them win, helping them launch their business effectively, right? So you need to build a personal brand, okay? You need to have a sexy, attractive, and lucrative business, right? You need to make sure you're in something that's attractive to people, okay? I know there's people that make money selling pest control, selling bug spray, but I would never want to go do that probably because I don't think a lot of people around me want to go door to door selling pest control. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know, but you got to make sure you are in a sexy, attractive, lucrative business, okay? Because here's the deal. People will join you. They will join you based on your personal results, okay? Your team results, how many people you've helped win, how many long-term thinking here, how many documented millionaires you've helped create. And then people will follow you based on who you really are, your integrity, your trust. Do you keep your word? And this all flows up into, hey, scaling and growing a business, right? Which leads me to my next big idea here, market expansion. Let's talk about it. Market expansion. Okay. When I was, 21, building my business for the first time, our entire organization was pretty much in the realm of the state of Arizona. And then I was thinking, okay, if it can work in Arizona, it can work somewhere else. So what did I do? I'm like, who do I know in my hometown area of Ohio, OHIO? I remember sitting there in Arizona thinking, okay, we're rocking in Arizona. I'm making $2-3 grand a month. I got people making some money over here, but damn, what if I could duplicate Arizona in Ohio? Or could I duplicate America over in Colombia or, Spain, right? For whatever type of business you're involved in. So this is what I did. Okay. I said, okay, who do I know in Ohio? I had a good friend that I grew up with named Ryan Young. Shout out to Ryan Young. Okay. He might be watching this. Okay. I'm like, yo, I'm doing this over here. I'm making some money. You should do it in Ohio. I'm going to help you do it. He got started. Long story short, we were growing on Zoom. I was FaceTiming on Zoom, and one guy turned into 2, turned into 4, turned into 8, turned into about 50. And then I flew from Phoenix to Columbus, Ohio. I went and slept in Ryan's house for like a week, and we were doing meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. What were we doing? Scaling, growing the business, market expansion. And then, months later, we had thousands of reps in the state of Ohio. And then that led to Chicago, Illinois. And then we had thousands of people in Illinois. And then that led to, Michigan, and Michigan State University started to go crazy, right? So here's the deal. If you're watching this in Phoenix, Arizona, okay, and your business is a national business, who do you know in Dallas? Okay, if you're watching this in Dallas, you're thinking, shit, who do I know in Houston? If you're watching this in Houston, who do I know in Miami? Okay, if you're in an international business and you're in Munich, Germany, you're thinking, who do I know in Barcelona, Spain? Guys, 2024, everybody's on their phone. People touch their phone more than they touch themselves, okay? Everybody is on this thing all the freaking time. Market expansion. So let me give you some steps here on market expansion. Number one, identify the location. Where do I want to expand to? Where do I want to build my business? Where do I want to go? Identify the location. Okay, Kansas City. Okay, Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, Dubai, UAE. All right? Identify the location. Number two, ask yourself, who do I know in this place? Who do I have a relationship with, a friendship with in this city, this town, this college, this university, this country? Who do I know there? If you don't personally know somebody there, ask your current team. Hey guys, does anybody know anybody in St. Louis, Missouri, in Tallahassee, Florida, in Barcelona, Spain, right? Who do you know there? If you don't know anybody there whatsoever, you're like, Alex, I don't know anybody, but I want to build a team in Miami, Florida, okay? I live somewhere else, not in Florida. I want to build a team in Florida. I don't know anybody there. Nobody on my current team knows anybody there. What do I do? All right, you need to go find some people digitally. Okay, there are ways on Instagram to search hashtags. You can do hashtag Miami, hashtag Fort Lauderdale, hashtag South Beach. You can meet people posting in South Beach. You can actually get so crazy. You can geotag. If you are, listen, if I'm you, I'm going to be honest. If I'm you and I'm not making the money I want to be making in my business, right? I'm not making a full-time income yet. And maybe you're in a small town where there's not a lot of money. There ain't no there's no Ferraris or Lamborghinis in your city. And you're like, yo, I want to break the hell out of here and get rich and get wealthy. I want to bring people into my business that are affluent, that are already doing some big stuff. I would literally get on Instagram. And first off, if you don't know 5-star hotels, look up 5-star hotels in London, in Miami, in Dallas. You can hashtag W South Beach, the one hotel Miami. You can see who's staying at hotels that cost $1,000 a night. You can go to this is a little bit stalkerish, but this is how you do it. You go there, you find these people, and then you start building relationships with these people, liking their posts, commenting on their posts. You may think this is crazy, but I don't know. You want to be crazy and rich or not crazy and poor? I don't know. At some point, you got to make a decision where you say, you know what? I don't care what it takes. If I have to hashtag hotels or restaurants in a specific city to network and meet people and build relationships and eventually get them into my business, then that's what you need to do. Okay? Another tactic you can do, which I did a very long time ago, I would go on the profiles on Facebook. Back in the day, I used a lot more Facebook than Instagram, right? I would go on profiles on Facebook and say there was a top leader named, so let's just say it was Tony Robbins. It wasn't Tony Robbins, but we'll just use Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is making $100,000 a month in a network marketing company, and I'm in network marketing, and I want to recruit good people. I'm going to go on Tony Robbins' page, and I'm going to see who's liking his posts, who's commenting on his content. And then I'm going to go talk to those guys and I'm going to talk to those girls and build relationships with them. Why? Because they're already interested in network marketing, in entrepreneurship, in insurance. You guys see what I'm getting at here, right? There are ways to do this. Even if you say, Alex, I don't know anybody, nobody wants to do this. Well, digitally, you can go out there and create new contacts, new relationships, new friendships, new conversations, and start the prospecting process. That's how you market, expand your business. Okay. And we've done this in 100 countries around the world. I'm telling you guys the truth. I've been in 77 countries around the world physically, done business in probably 120 of them. Okay. All over the planet digitally. Okay. This is what you do. Identify the location. Ask who do you know. If you don't know anybody, guess what? Find people digitally. And then this is what you want to do. You want to find a superstar to build the success story around. What do I mean by that? Okay, if you're in it, I know I use insurance, so I'm not even in insurance. It's funny, right? My parents had life insurance for a very long time, so that's what really pops up in my mind when I'm doing a lot of these shows. If I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and I get a young guy started out in Detroit, Michigan, his name's Brock, and he's crushing it in Detroit, Michigan, or he's not crushing it actually in Detroit, Michigan, but he has a high level of desire. He's teachable and coachable. He wants to win. when I talk to his prospects, I'm going to hype Brock up. Right? Brock's going to leverage me to come into his presentation and talk about the life insurance company. And then I'm going to say, guys, if you know Brock at all, listen, my name's Alex. I've made at least $100,000 a year every year for the last 3 years in life insurance. I'm teaching your buddy. I'm going to show your friend how to get rich in life insurance. He's not making any money today, but guys, 6 months from today, this kid's going to be rich. He's going to have a new car. He's going to be rocking and rolling. So now I'm now leveraging back to Brock. What am I doing? I'm identifying the superstar and using that to build my success story around that person. That's what you do. In 2016, when I started in the financial educational company that I've been a part of now for over 8 years and earned tens of millions of dollars in, guys, I didn't build the story around me. When I was building in other countries, I built it around other people, right? Young guy, Juan Diego, making $1,000 a month. Right? I built everything around him. So when I would go to Costa Rica, do a presentation, do a meeting, do some events, when I left, everybody was looking at him as the authority or the celebrity in the space. Because if it's always built around you, you're never going to get any time off to actually live your life and do anything. This is about developing leaders. You attract the leaders, you develop the leaders, you create market share, market expansion, eventually market dominance by finding the superstar and making it about them. Okay. So you're doing that to expand the market. And then you're always thinking about, okay, there's 4 levels in this deal, man. I'm in life insurance. I'm in car sales. I'm in network marketing. Damn, I got to get to the top level, which is celebrity and authority. But right now I'm a generalist, right? And then I'm going to be a specialist. Then I'm going to be professional. Then I'm going to be a celebrity and authority. I don't think in today's world, you can become an authority figure in your space without a personal brand. I don't think you can. That's why I'm doing this podcast. It costs me money to make these podcast shows. You get them for free. Why? I'm building authority in the space. I'm giving guidance, advice, real tactical guidance based on millions of dollars that I've earned, not just some bullshit, guru out there in his basement making selfie videos. No. This is built on over a decade of dominance in the space of leadership and sales and building teams and winning and helping people win as well. So scale, right? Scale, customers in, leaders in versus customers out, leaders out. Focus on getting a better retention rate. Focus on attracting and developing leaders. Focus on market expansion nationally and or internationally. And then focus on building a personal brand and eventually becoming a celebrity and authority figure in your space with real results. And you built an international presence to where people know you and know about you and know what you're all about. And you never met them physically one time in your life. So I hope you got a lot of value on today's episode of the Alex Morton Show. Listen, if you're watching this on YouTube, I appreciate the comments. Make sure you subscribe. This thing's almost at 70,000 now, which is really, really cool. Share this with some friends. Share this with, leaders in your organizations that want to scale, that want to grow, that want to freaking dominate. If you're listening to this on Apple and or Spotify, leave a 5-star review, leave a comment. Okay, I appreciate you, and I want to see you win and achieve all your goals and all the dreams of your life. You deserve it, and a lot of you have been programmed to lose, but now we're changing that programming up here mentally. You're now getting programmed to win, and you're getting programmed to dominate and make it happen. So I will see you next week on another episode of The Alex Morton Show. Bye for now.